Good afternoon and welcome to Newswatch3. I'm Addie Smith.
And I'm Alexis, and we're so excited to bring you your weekly news. Today we will take a look at cabinet election results, the SAC silent disco, and the Asbury theater production that is underway.
We'll also have your weather updates and your local sports updates. The Student Congress election results for the 2024-2025 school year were announced on Friday. Reporter Sevasti Levenioti had the opportunity to sit down with the newly elected cabinet to talk about their new roles.
It's almost the end of February here at Asbury University, and for the last 2 weeks, students have been called to elect their new Student Congress for the next academic year. On February the 23rd, the current Student Congress announced the results of the new Executive Cabinet and Class Cabinets. They also organized an election party to congratulate and celebrate the new student body representatives. Zachary Fazio is going to serve as the new student body president.
So really what inspired me to run for executive cabinet is just the kingdom community that we have and the desire to pour back into that community.
Margaret Treadway will be the new vice president of Student Governance Association. Ellie Hazeloff is going to serve as the new VP of Spiritual Life Board.
I'm just really looking forward to being able to talk to students and really understand what they're looking for from the spiritual life team and how they want to be met.
Elizabeth Bramware will be the new VP of Clubs and Congress Operations.
I would like to maintain the approachability this year's executive cabinet has established. I want students to feel that they can come bring any concerns or ideas they have to me, especially since my role is bringing and implementing new student organizations and clubs on campus.
VP of Student Intercultural Programs will be Kourtney Kawata.
So this will be my 3rd year of being on the SIP board and now leading it. And as an intercultural student, I've been very passionate ever since.
The new elected Student Congress are looking forward to continue the hard work and represent well the student body.
The main point that I want to hit on right now is that I'm here to serve you, and I'm here to be accountable to you.
There are 2 more positions on Executive Cabinet and that are appointed, Executive Treasurer and Executive Publicist. If students are interested in any of those positions, they can reach out to the newly elected candidates or be on the lookout for those applications. In Wilmore, Sevasti Levenioti, Newswatch3.
Silent disco took place last Saturday, February 24th in the CLC Luce Auditorium and lasted from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. This event was held by Student Activities Cabinet with the theme Space Cowboy. Before entering the auditorium, students dropped off their student IDs and were then given headphones and ready to party. SAC provided theme-appropriate decorations and snacks such as moon pies and drinks. Many students came dressed to party wearing cowboy hats, boots, and space-themed attire. The auditorium was decorated with stars, aliens, moons, lights, and neon. Once the students' headphones were turned on, the music was separated into 3 channels designated by 3 colors. Oldies was blue, dance was red, and newbies was green. Students were able to switch between these channels anytime. This was SAC's most attended event of the semester so far, and their 2nd silent disco of this year. Today, SAC will be hosting Leap Day activities until 2:29 p.m. in the Student Center.
Reporter Riley Friend is in the CLC Luce Auditorium to give us information about the screening of Rasul Berry's documentary Juneteenth. Riley?
Thank you, Addie. I'm in the CLC where Rasul Berry showed his film Juneteenth to an audience of students and professors on Tuesday, February 27th. Rasul Berry, being the writer and host of the film, explained his vision and answered students' questions about the film. The movie Juneteenth is a reflection about what happened in Texas on June 19, 1865, through a Christian lens when slaves found out that the federal government said that they were free. The people interviewed in the film include Opal Lee, a 97-year-old activist, and Lecrae, a 2-time Grammy Award-winning Christian rapper. The movie was shown on local PBS stations around the United States. Rasul Berry also had a seminar with communications professor Dr. Jim Shores, in which he explained his creative process and talked about his own journey of faith. He answered students' questions about culture, creativity, and finding truth in our stories. Berry also had the opportunity to preach in chapel on Wednesday at 10 a.m. about confronting what divides us. Back to you, Ella.
The Asbury Theater Department had successful performances of 39 Steps this past weekend. Reporter Alex Deacon gives us more information.
On Saturday, February 24th, Asbury's theater program put on its second production of the 39 Steps.
I play Pamela, and it's a very fun character to play because I've only played very one-dimensional characters before because I don't have much theater experience, but she goes on this whole journey of like, she's assaulted, so then she has mixed feelings about that, but this man's so attractive, but then all these things she's hearing about him, but then as she finds out that like he is a good person, that he's actually caring about the entire country of England, she falls in love, and it's a very sweet storyline from her to go from enemies to lovers.
And remembers every one of them. That's from history.
The play not only had aspects of romance, but also suspense and comedy.
Police have warned he is almost certainly armed and dangerous. Here is his description once again.
So I play a spate of several different characters. Some of them more likable than others, and one's a very nice kind of carnival man, the other one's a very surly Scottish farmer. So my favorite parts about these, I think, just have to be getting to live in someone else's shoes who is sometimes so very different from me myself.
With concentric rows of blading alternating with raw material. Oh, I do. Oh, it's entirely splendid.
I think we spent probably 40 hours on rehearsal. That might be a little excessive, but yeah, we put a lot of time into it, especially the leads, and it just created a really great family, and it's been exciting. And we still have one more weekend left.
Cold-blooded and ruthless.
The show had a good turnout with a nearly full house, including Asbury students and outside guests.
So there seems to be one option.
Working with this cast has been so amazing. I love all of them to pieces, and it's been such a gift to do the show with them.
This group is so enthusiastic and just so full of love for one another that it really lifts my heart every time I came to rehearsal. And, you know, I'm going to be sad to see them all go.
The remaining shows begin tonight and will continue through March 2nd.
Newswatch3 forecaster Alex Deacon has the latest in this week's weather. Alex?
Thanks, Addie. Last week it felt like spring, but this morning we're getting a blast of winter with chilly temperatures and a high of only 45 degrees. Tonight we'll see a low of 32, with today's partly sunny weather turning into clouds overnight. Looking at tomorrow, we'll see very cloudy skies and a high of only 50, with rain continuing throughout the evening. Looking at this weekend, we'll see warmer temperatures and partly sunny skies, with a high of 62 and a low of 45 on Saturday. On Sunday, we'll continue to see that partly sunny weather with a high of 70 and a low of 52. Looking ahead towards next week, we'll see more clouds but even warmer temperatures, with Monday's high of 72 and low of 49. On Tuesday, we'll continue to see some clouds with a high of 63 and a low of 48. That's all the weather updates I have for you today. Back to you.
Sports reporter Spencer Harvey is in the studio with us to give us some sports updates. Spencer?
Thanks, Ella. On Tuesday afternoon, our softball team took on Berea in a doubleheader matchup. The Eagles swept the Mountaineers 14-0 and then 13-3. Freshman Emma Popwell led the way with her first collegiate home run and also contributed 3 hits and 7 RBIs. Josie Deathridge led the Eagles on the mound with 11 strikeouts and only allowed 1 run in 7 innings, which resulted in a season high. Taylor Enlow was also a big contributor to the Eagles' success in Game 2 with 7 strikeouts and 2 runs allowed. The Eagles' sweep put them at 2-2 on the year. They will be on the road tomorrow to match up against Union College at 1 and 3 p.m. The baseball team traveled to Oakland City earlier this week to take on the Mighty Oaks. This was the second time they were on the road within the last 2 weeks. The Eagles eventually fell to the number 4 ranked team in the NCCAA. Noah Brown led the team with a home run in the top of the 5th inning, which resulted in the only run for the Eagles. The team continues 3-2. The Eagles will host Ohio Northern University on Saturday at 12 and 3 p.m. The stage is set for both men's and women's basketball teams. They will both be competing in the NCCAA Mid-East Regional Championship. The men's team will be traveling to Oakland City University to take on the winner of Friday's Oakland City and Alice Lloyd contest on Saturday. The women's team will be competing next Thursday here at the Luce. They will be taking on Alice Lloyd for the third time this season. Both games will determine each team's bid to the national tournament. That's all the sports updates I have for you today. Back to you, Ella.
One St. Louis man is proving that you are never too old to achieve your dream. He graduated from Harris Stowe State University at the age of 74, making him the university's oldest graduate. It was also a dream that was 50 years in the making. Melanie Johnson has more on the man willing to do anything to make his dreams come true and how he says he still has more to do.
A journey that dates back to 1973 when David Morris stepped onto a college campus for the first time after being drafted to the military.
Nothing worth having comes easy.
It took 50 years for him to live out the dream that was delayed but not denied.
If you tell somebody your dreams, and if they're not laughing and shaking your head at you, you're not dreaming big enough.
At 74 years old.
And I walked across this stage and it seemed like everybody was just genuinely happy for me.
Morris finally taking the walk that took decades to happen and graduated with a bachelor's degree.
Mr. Morris, please stand.
His daughter cheering him on. He was the oldest in his fall 2023 graduating class at Harris Stowe State University.
For your children, what do you want them to know in this life?
I want them to know that they can achieve anything they want to achieve.
The road to crossing the stage came with setbacks.
I had a stroke in 2007.
And back-to-back losses that stood in the way of living out his dreams sooner.
My brothers and sisters, there's 3 of us left. They all died from colon cancer. I had a daughter that was 19. God, hell of a basketball player. Lost her in a car accident in 2000. My wife lived 2 years and 8 months after being diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer.
He's somebody who's like, you know what, this is not a dream deferred. This is something that I'm going to do.
Karen Zamarco was his student success coach as Morris only needed one class to make it to the finish line. Spanish.
Buenos dias. Oh, bien, y tú? I knew that it was going to be something special when Mr. Morris told me his student ID number and it was only 3 digits long.
With a degree in general studies with an emphasis on history,
I'm still not done.
The now 75-year-old has an even bigger dream.
His willingness to say, you know what, you're never too old and it's never too late.
So what's next for you?
Law school. Law school. I'm going to law school.
A history maker with a message: when life gets tough,
and just don't give up, you know.
It gets better. Melanie Johnson, First Alert 4.
The sounds of music could be heard all around campus as the All-Star Band Clinic brought high school musicians to perform at Asbury University. There were 3 concerts during this past weekend. One on Friday at 7:30 p.m. in Hughes Auditorium featuring the Women's Choir, the Men's Glee Club, the Chorale, and Concert Band. Also on Friday, the Asbury Jazz Ensemble performed at 9:30 p.m. in the Jamison Recital Hall. The final concert took place in Hughes Auditorium on Saturday at 3 p.m., featuring all the high school band members as well as the Asbury Handbell Choir. After all the music and practice, the high schoolers headed back home from Asbury's 45th Annual Band Clinic.
Well, that's all we have for you today. Thank you so much for trusting us with your weekly news.
We'll see you next week, Asbury.